What's good, y'all? KeaToSuccess here, back with another video. Before we get into it, please again, I appreciate if y'all like, share, and comment, um, and just push this out in the algorithm. Let people know. People, especially that are thinking about getting into the trucking industry, definitely tune in. Today I'm gonna go over three tips. Uh, three tips to do before you get into the trucking industry, or you decide to get in the trucking business, basically. Um, the first one is pretty obvious, but I'm gonna say it again for people who don't know or might not understand, is you gotta do your research. Research. And that's with anything. Um, you wanna know the nuances, the complications that you're gonna get into. Because there are a lot of moving parts in the trucking industry that are not always talked about. But you wanna look at your local, you wanna look at the freight rates. So whether it be a local, over the road, regional, doesn't matter. You want to look into the rates and how much those areas are paying. Um, you want to look into what type of freight you're going to be moving. Is it going to be, reefer, flatbed, step deck, oversized, dry van? All of that stuff, plays in the factor into those rates as well, because everything's one, industry part pays more than the other. So you got to research that and know what you're getting to with that. Um, the type of equipment that you guys are going to get. Um, like I said, you got a dry van, you got a refrigerated trailer, you got a step deck or a flatbed, whatever the case may be. And figure out what equipment you're going to be using, what's optimal for you. So do you need a sleeper bed? Do you need a day cab? Do you need something with a little bit more power, more torque, stuff like that? You got to do your research on that. And then you got all the expenses that are going to be associated with. Like I said, the industry has a lot of moving parts, and some of them are very unexpected because the expenses are all over the place. You got plates that people don't consider, because I didn't consider that myself. But you got plates that you got to pay for. That's a couple $1,000s. You got the 2290 form that you got to do. Trying to think what else. The insurance. Um, Whether the stuff that you do buy needs to get fixed before it gets on the road, DOT inspections, all this stuff. You gotta make sure the truck and everything is ready before you get on the road, and that's just some of the little nuances. So definitely always do your research and figure out what you're gonna get into, because that's gonna lead into tip number 2: have a plan. So if you're doing that research, that's gonna help you formulate a plan. If you get once you start formulating that plan, you start, getting a better picture on what your goal may be, because you want to know what is your goal. Starting the trucking business. What are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to generate cash flow? Are you just trying to build up money? Whatever it may be, you need to figure that out, because otherwise, the vision doesn't become very clear, and it's hard for you to kind of continue to move forward if you don't really have a vision. You're just kind of winging it. So you want to have a plan. What kind of, like I said, what route you're going to take. Are you going to be an owner operator? Are you going to be a guy that are you going to be someone that's not going to be actual driver? You don't got your CDO or don't want to drive. You're going to hire somebody to drive your truck. Are you going to get your own authority where you're taking care of pretty much everything, the IFTA, the trip reports, DOT inspection, all that stuff? Or are you going to be someone that's going to lease under someone else's company, working under someone else's authority, and let them take care of that, and everything else is pretty much up to you? So there's a couple of different routes you can take. And like I said, it's kind of all up to you and what your planning and goal is. That's why I said you gotta know what your goals are going to be, because if the goals aren't really clear, then it's going to be hard for you to try to figure out what do you need to profit, or what do you need to make to profit, because you could have a plan where you're not profited in, and that's not hard to do in trucking. There's, like I said, there's a lot of moving parts, as I said before, and you definitely can end up, going negative net profit. So definitely you want to have a plan that's formulated and curated for you and what you're trying to do. So that's just the number 2 tip. All right. Last tip, number 3 tip is get yourself a mentor, get yourself a coach. Um, Find someone who has experience in the industry, whether it be someone that has been an owner, someone that's a driver, or a freight broker, wherever the case may be. They're gonna know more than you if you're someone that's not even in the industry, or someone, even if you're just a regular company guy, someone who just drove the truck so far. It's best to always get a mentor, no matter what, because this is something new. You're taking a big step, and you're making a bit. You're creating a business. You're taking on a lot of liability, while simultaneously having assets, but you're taking on some liability. There's no fallback plan. You getting a mentor can help you skip steps, avoid mistakes that they've already made, and I definitely advise this. I have a mentor, and that's my father. That's my uncles. They've all been doing this before me and been trucking longer than me, and they got more experience than me. So I learned a lot from them, and that's made things easier for me. So I appreciate them, and I thank them. I try to thank them as much as I can. I probably should do it more, but I try to say in my videos, I appreciate y'all for doing what you're doing and helping me out, and I'm gonna find a way to repay y'all. I love y'all and I appreciate it. But yeah, find yourself a mentor. For me, I'm lucky to have it. Mine's all in family blood based. I didn't have to go outside and find somebody. Because you have to find someone that's gonna be willing to do it for you. You might even have to pay, and I recommend definitely paying, but you gotta do your research. Like I said before, making sure they're qualified to teach you. But if you gotta pay, do it, because that's gonna save you on the back end, where you're not gonna be, put your foot in the hole or be in the hole, all because you didn't talk to anybody. You only are going off your information, and your information is very limited because you're just new to the industry, and the person who knows more, he's going to be able to tell you yay or nay on all the options that you may have. So yes, you got to pay a mentor, do it. Whether it be a couple $1,000s, it's better to get all that money up front, especially if you don't know anything. It's better to spend that money up front than go back later and now you're negative in profit, and you got to learn from your mistake. Obviously, it's a lesson you learn, but it still sucks, and it can put you out of business. So paying that money now is not going to put you out of business. It's always going to be knowledge that's going to be gained in your head. It's something that you're not going to forget, and it's invaluable. At the end of the day, it's invaluable. Versus you learning on your own. Yes, it's invaluable, but at the same time, a major mistake could lead you to losing your business. So why take that chance? So these are my 3 tips. Let me know what you guys think, or have any other tips for anybody out there. I've only been doing this for about 2.5 years. So any of you guys out there that's been doing owner-operator trucking business stuff longer than me, or even somebody who's been in company longer than me, throw some tips out there. Guys will appreciate it, and they're going to learn from your experiences. And it's always best that way. As truckers in this industry, we got to help each other out. So please comment, and again, like the video. Check me out on my socials too as well. Link in the description down below. But I appreciate y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. KeaToSuccess out. Deuces.